All right, guys, we're going to start the review for your test coming up over linear 1 and 2. It's over trend lines and scatter plots and direct variation. So just follow along, show all the work that I'm doing, and then go online to join.quiziz.com using the class code that your teacher gave you, and check all of your answers as we go along so you can get full credit for showing work and full credit for checking your answers online. All right, so question 1, how would I fix the trend line to better fit the data? The trend line needs to go through the middle of the dots. So I'm just going to sketch in my trend line. On your test, if they give you a scatter plot, please make sure that you are sketching in your trend line. A lot of the time it's 4 points. Like you get 2 points for sketching your trend line, and then the other 4 points for actually asking or answering the question. So there's my trend line. So I need to decide what I'm doing to the slope and what I'm doing to the y-intercept. So originally my y-intercept was down here, and now it's up here. So I am increasing the y-intercept. So I could eliminate based off of that alone. This says decrease the y-intercept. This says decrease the y-intercept. Now for the slope, think of your slope like the steepness of a slide, how quickly you would slide down. If this was your slide, you'd go super fast. I need to make myself go slower down the slide. I need to decrease the slope. So my answer is C. Increase the y-intercept, decrease the slope. All right, question 2. The following scatter plot shows Pam's training as she prepares to run a 6-mile race at the end of the month. Which of the following would be a reasonable approximation for the length of time it would take her to run 6 miles? So they're telling us 6 miles. So we need to go to the 6 on wherever it says miles, that's this side, and we're going to follow it up. Before I can follow it up, again, sketch your trend line. See how my trend line is going through the middle of the dots? So I'm going to follow my 6 and then go across, and it's about 60 minutes. So on your test, the trend line's worth 2 points, and then following the 6 and making the approximation is the other. Question 3. Again, it's another scatter plot, so let's sketch in our trend line. Okay. If Gold's Gym is looking to buy 10 TVs, how much will each one cost? So 10 TVs. This is the price. This is the number of TVs. So we're going to go to 10, follow it up, and then go over. So it's about $1,000. So make sure you're paying attention as to which axis that they are giving you. So if they had given us the price, we would have started over here and then gone over and gone down. Determine the correlation coefficient. This is one of your vocabulary words, and it represents the R value. Okay, this is that number between -1 and +1 that shows how strong the correlation is. So you have to have your calculator to do this question. So I'm going to go on my calculator, and we're going to follow our steps. We've got to turn our diagnostics on. So to do that, you click second, 0. Go down to diagnostics on. On the day of the test, you're not going to have somebody walking you through the steps. You've got to remember how to do it. So diagnostics on, enter, enter. Done, son. Okay, then we click stat, enter to type in our points. This tells us that these are our X values. So I'm just going to type in each of those values. 61, 95, 44. Yes, you do have to type in all of your points. And then you go to the Y values. And once you've got them all in, you click Stat, Right, and 4 because it's linear. So this one is only asking for that R value. So R equals 0.895. The 5 tells me to round up, so it's going to be 0.90. So it's not here, it's not here. And 0.90 is strong because that's going to be really close to that 1. So you could have automatically eliminated this 0.8 because you're never going to have an R value of 0.8 that's weak, or an R value of 0.9 that's moderate. Now 0.8 could be strong and 0.9 could be strong. What is the correlation coefficient for the data? Again, that's that R value. So you have to make sure that your diagnostics are on. So I'm going to go Stat, Edit. If you want to clear it out, if you go all the way up to highlight, click the clear button and go down, it'll clear out the whole row. So clear and down. So I can type in my X values. 9, 13. Then go over to your L2. I can't tell if that's a 250 or a 260. I think it's a 260. Once you've got your points typed in, you're going to click Stat, Right, 4. And there's your equation. Again, it's just asking for the R value. So it's this 0.998, which is approximately 1. So it's positive. Now look at this, 0.9984. So here they have 2 that would have rounded up to 1, and they took it out to 4 decimal places. So be careful there. All right, describe the relationship between the variables. Honestly, that relationship is kind of all over the place. But if I was to draw a line because of these way down here, I would say it slants down, so it's going to be negative. So it's not positive, it's not positive. It's definitely not strong because it's all over the place, so a weak negative correlation. All right, 7. Describe the correlation in the graph. Okay, so if I sketch my trend line through there, all of those dots are relatively close to my trend line. So that tells you that it's going to be strong. So it's not C and it's not D. And think of your slope man. This is positive, this is negative. This is going up, so it is a strong positive. 8. What is the line of best fit? So we're going to have to use our calculator again. Stat, Edit. Remember to clear, clear, go down, clear, go down. And if I'm typing these points in too quickly, feel free to pause the video while you finish typing. So 2, 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, and I'm actually not going to put in that 30 because it doesn't have a matching Y value. So I'm going to cross that off my table. Okay, so I've got the values that I actually have. Then I do Stat, Right, 4. So my equation is 1.82x. And this is the only one with the 1.82. And then 5.02 is my y-intercept. Perfect. And just to review, the R value for this one is 0.89. So that is a positive correlation, and it's pretty strong because it's close to 1. Okay, so we're getting another line of best fit. Stat, Edit. I'm going to clear these out. And we go and we type in our X values, 24, 22. And I put in my Y values. Once you've got them type in, you click Stat, Right, 4. There we go. So we get y equals, the slope is 5.57. So 5.57x, it's got to be one of those. My y-intercept is a positive 25. So your answer is B. My R value is 0.986. So that is a strong positive correlation again. And I know that it's positive because that number is positive, and I know that it's strong because that number is close to 1 or negative 1. Are 9 and 10 the same question? Oh, now it's asking us to use that equation. Sorry. It's asking us to use that equation to then estimate the height when the foot length is 28. So I'm going to take that equation that we got on the last one. So we have the equation y equals 5.57x plus 25.05. I'm going to plug that into y equals 5.57x plus 25.05. And I'm going to use that to predict the foot length, the height when the foot length is 28. So you can either scroll down all the way to 28, or if you know how to jump, you can just jump. So it is 181.01. So the closest one is B. So remember, you can use that equation that the calculator has given you to make predictions. 11. As incidents of texting increase, the number of car crashes increase. So whenever you think of causation, ask yourself, does it have to happen? Okay, so if you are texting, do you have to get in a car crash? No. Are you more likely to get in a car crash? Yes, but it does not have to. So it is simply a relationship between the two. 12. Which of the following statements shows a causation? Again, which one has to happen? An individual's decision to work in construction and his diagnosis of skin cancer. So if you work in construction, do you have to get skin cancer? No. I really hope that you don't. Otherwise, a lot of construction workers would have skin cancer. A child's weight increases, and so does her vocabulary. If a child gains weight, does their vocabulary have to increase? No. A decrease in temperature and the increase in attendance at an ice skating rink. If it gets colder, does the attendance at an ice skating rink have to increase? No. The number of minutes spent exercising and the amount of calories burned. The longer you spend exercising, do you have to burn more calories? Yes. That's just science. If you are spending longer working out, you are going to be burning more calories. Number 13. The situation described by the graph as the number of TVs purchased increase. So as this is increasing, what's happening to the price? The price is decreasing. Price per TV. Now, is it the price per TV or is it the total price that's decreasing? It's the price per TV. This Y variable is the price per TV. Think about it. Is this a positive or a negative correlation? It's a negative correlation. And when it's a negative correlation, you know they have to be doing different things. So either one's going down and one's going up, or the first one's going up and the other one's going down. But they have to be doing opposite things. If it's a positive correlation, on the other hand, then they're either both increasing or they are both decreasing. 14. Does the graph show a proportional relationship? Proportional is the same thing as direct variation. And for it to be proportional, it has to be linear, which means it's a straight line, and it has to go through the origin. Which is the point 0, 0. So here's the point 0, 0. Does it go through the origin? No. So it is not proportional. So number 15, is it proportional? We just said that it has to be linear and go through the origin. So you could plug this in y equals. So I'm going to plug in 2x minus 5. If you don't know what it looks like, go to the graph. Does that go through the origin? No. Or you could also tell because the y-intercept, or that constant right there, is not 0. There's a number other than 0 there. Does this represent a proportional relationship or a direct variation? Is it linear? And does it go through the origin? It goes through the origin, but is that a straight line? No, a straight line would go up like this. So no. This is curved. It goes like this. It's not linear. Which statement best describes the relationship between the x and the y in the table? Okay, so there's two ways to do this. We could use our calculator, right? We've been doing the stat edit. So I'm going to go stat edit, clear these out, and I'm going to type in my points. So I've got 2, 4, 6. Over here I've got 8, 16, 24. So you type in your points, and we do stat right 4. So my equation is y equals 4x. Do I need to put the plus 0? No, you don't, but if it helps you see, you can. So the y-intercept is 0, so it is proportional. Or you could remember that proportional has a k value, a y over x that is constant, a constant of proportionality. So I can take my y value, which is 8, over my x value, which is 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Then I would take my y, which is 16, divided by my x, which is 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Then I take my y, which is 24, over my x, which is 6. 24 divided by 6 is 4. So my k value equals 4. So I could get the equation y equals 4x. It is proportional. It is direct variation. All right, use the graph. What is the constant in proportionality? Guys, if we're comparing it to these equations right up here, that k value is similar to our slope as long as it goes through the origin. So you could either just look at the table, or you could look at the graph, or create your own table. I'm a table person, okay? So I'm going to find some pretty points. So there's this one at 0, 0. And then another pretty point, so something that falls exactly there, right here at 5, 10. And you could type that in your calculator. You could do stat edit, or you can think to get from 0 to 10. 10 minus 0 is 10. 5 minus 0 is 5. Y goes on top. 10 over 5 equals 2. So for each one, does it look like you're going up 2? That could be about 2. It's a little less than half of that 5. And then 2 and 2 should be 4. Yep. Then 6. Then 8. Then 10. Then 12. 14. 16. 18. 20. So yes, it is going up about 2 each time. Be careful because this scale is 5 and this scale is 1. So try to create a table. And let me show you how to do it on your calculator in case you forgot. Stat edit. And we could type in the points 0, 5, and then 0, 10. Stat right 4. Y equals 2x plus 0. And that 2 is your k, that constant of proportionality, which is your k value. 19. Y varies directly with x, and y is 84, and x is 16. What is the value of x when y is 21? Okay, so they're asking you to create a table. Y is 84 when x is 16. What is the value of x when y is 21? Okay, honestly, when they're giving this to me, I like to set up a proportion. We've got 16, we've got 84, we've got 21. And then you do the butterfly effect. You cross multiply. So we take 16 times 21, and then you divide. So we're going to divide by that other value, which is 84. And let's just make sure that that works. So if this value is 4, so your K value, 84 divided by 16, and 21 divided by 4, those should both give us the same number. 84 divided by 16 is 5.25. 21 divided by 4 is 5.25. So what is the value of x when y is 21? 4. Based off the graph, which of the following is a true statement? So you've got to read each answer choice to decide which one is true. About 2 centimeters of rain fell each hour. So after 1 hour, there's 2. After 2 hours, there's 4. 3 hours, there's going to be something. That could be it. About 1 centimeter of rain fell each hour. After 1 hour, there's 2. So no, it can't be that one. About 4 centimeters of rain fell in 4 hours. 4 centimeters of rain? No, that happened in 2 hours. About 5 centimeters of rain fell in 5 hours. 5 centimeters of rain, that's happening in 2.5 hours. So no. The answer's got to be that A. So just go through each answer choice and see whether it can be true or false. All right, the Disney charges a base charge for a vacation package for a family of 4, and then charges $225 for each additional child. Based on the information given in the graph, what does Disney charge for the base vacation package? So this is the original fee. How much does it charge at the very beginning? The very beginning, it starts right there, so a little bit above $500. So it's not at $500. It's definitely not at $150. Definitely not at $2,300. So I would guess $625. Because it's a little bit above $500. That part is $750, and it's kind of halfway in between there. The following graph models the linear relationship that DJ Mark charges based on the time spent DJing. Based off the off the graph, which of these best represents the rate of change of the amount spent with respect to the time DJing? So if we're finding rate of change, that's your slope. So I need to create a table. So there's one at 0, 100, that's 1 point. We need another pretty point right here at 2, 250. So as long as they're pretty points, see this one right here at 1 is not pretty. You could also do 4, 400 if you prefer that one. So 250 minus 100 is 150. 2 minus 0 is 2. The y goes on top. 150 divided by 2 equals 75. So it's $75 per hour. Now, if you struggle with finding slope, these are 2 points. You could do stat edit. My two x values are 0 and 2. My y values are 100 and 250. Stat right 4. So my equation is y equals 75x plus 100. So the rate of change is at 75. The 100 is the y-intercept, or that starting value, the base charge. In which table does y vary directly as x? So direct variation, you can either take your y over your x and see which one is constant, or we could use our calculator. So I'll do 2 of them on the calculator and 2 of them by hand. So let's do these first 2. Stat edit. So we've got 0, we've got 1, 2, 4, 5. Over here, we've got 1, 4, 7, 13, 16. Stat right 4. So we get y equals 3x plus 1. So no, because it's got this y-intercept other than 0. Okay, let's do B. Stat, edit, and we're going to type in our new points. So the x values are 1, 3, 4, and 7. We type in our points, stat, right, 4. So my equation is y equals negative, oh, not to positive 4, just kidding, 4x minus 2. So again, this is not direct variation because it's got that y-intercept other than 0. And you could do that for each equation. Or we can take our y over our x. So 5 over 15, 10 over 30, 20 over 60. And let's see what each of those are. So 5 over 15, math, enter, enter. That turns it back to a fraction, so that equals 1/3. 10 divided by 30, math, enter, enter. It's 1/3. Ooh, looking good so far. 20 divided by 60, math, enter, enter, 1/3. This is our direct variation because it has a k, a constant of proportionality. If I was to try this one, take the y, 3 over the x, which is negative 2, 3 over negative 1, 3 over 0, 3 over 1. I know that these numbers are not all going to equal the same because you're dividing them by something else. This number is negative 3. This one is an error. You can't even divide by 0. This one equals a positive 3. So it's not going to be D. What is the ordered pair of point A? So remember, we write ordered pairs x, comma, y. This is your x, this is your y. So on the x, it is 2. On the y, it's at 0. Which you can also remember, this is an x-intercept, so it has to have an x value and the y is 0. 25. Again, we write our ordered pairs x, comma, y. So the x value is 1, 2, 3, negative 3. The y value is 1, 2, 3, positive 3. So negative 3, positive 3, that is D. Where is T? X, comma, y. The x value is at negative 3. The y value is at negative 2. A. Almost done. We've got 2 more questions. Jenny has plotted the points on her graph and is then asked to find the slope and write the equation. Which of the following is correct? Okay, so to find slope, big mama slope, you got to rise over run. Or you could put the points in a table and use your calculator. But we're going to practice rise over run. So I pick 2 of the pretty points. And I am rising. I'm going down 2, so negative 2 over 1. So my slope is negative 2. Slope is negative 2. My y-intercept, where is this crossing the y-axis? It crosses it right here at 5. So the y-intercept is 4? No. The y-intercept is negative 5? No. The slope is negative 1/2? No. The slope is negative 2? Yes. And the equation should be negative 2x plus 5. And if I plug that in, negative 2x plus 5, let's see what that looks like. Does that look similar to that graph? Yes, it does. What is the correlation coefficient? Correlation coefficient. This is one of your vocab words. Guys, the first 5 questions on your test are going to be vocab words. All you need to do is study your flashcards that we made, that first day of content, okay? So the correlation coefficient is that number between -1 to +1 that describes how closely the points in a scatterplot cluster around the line. And if you don't remember that, you can look back at some of your other questions and see which one makes sense. Let's see if we can figure out what these are. The rate of change of a line. That's another name for slope. A linear relationship between two variables x and y that can be written in the form y equals kx. This is direct variation, or proportional. We already said that the number from -1 to +1 is our correlation coefficient, or our R value. Those mean the same thing. One variable directly causes the other. It has to happen. This is your causation. Anytime you see that word cause, it's a causation. All right, so make sure that you now go online and plug in all of your answers into Quiz Is, so that way you can get your 100 on your homework this week. Thanks for watching.